Hello, everybody. I'm testing my microphone. Hey there. I'm just going to sit here and knit. Decided to go live. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay, so hi, welcome to my channel, Mosaic Maria. Used to be called the Mom Series, The Misunderstanding of Multiplicity, Sensory Overload, where I talked about media perceptions and labels and pathology, mental health, and how it was depicted in the media. Drop by and say hello. Am I live? Am I live? Can't tell. Says I'm live. Okay. So I saw a really cool now it's just a mosaic vlog where I talk about pop culture, news, politics, God. I do cooking, baking, knitting, crocheting, and I have a lot of cat videos. Anything that's on my mind, really. And you're welcome to join me. So I'm going to be doing some live knitting and crochet videos. So I thought I would just take a try. I've never done live on YouTube. I have done live on Facebook. I don't know how much time I get. So anybody strolling by, I guess I could have just done this for subscribers, but nah, that's not fun. So you don't meet anybody new if you don't go public, right? All right, so it's Saturday, and I found a really cool pattern. I'm going to send you to get the pattern. I am not doing the pattern now, but I'm doing a version of kind of like I'm jazzing up the pattern a little bit, and I'm actually using a different kind of yarn. But I found a really cool, it's called Moonbeam Mom and a Stitch. Jessica, thank you. This pattern cost me $4.99. There is a free version on her website. It does have some pictures and ads you have to scroll through, but it's free. Um, but I wanted to print mine out, so I had it because I'm gonna make a lot of these, and I'm gonna make them I'm testing now, baby size, child size, and I think they're just great little like duster robes for babies and children and toddlers. And it's called Moonbow Slouchy Knit Cardigan, and it's easy level 2. And all you need to know how to do is knit and purl, cast on, bind off, and knit 2 together. So it's the most simple way to make a cardigan. Anybody there? Say hello if you are. I don't see. It says nobody's watching. Okay, well, nobody's watching. That's okay. Saturday, it's a beautiful day. Most people are knitting outside, not like me, inside, right? All right, so I don't really have the camera set up to be able to show you all the stitches, but you're basically just going to do a ribbing. And this is knitted from the bottom up in rectangles. So when you're doing a flat knitted cardigan, it's usually like 5 pieces that you seam up, either with a whip stitch or what some people call a mattress stitch, invisible stitch. You just are going to be seaming it, right? But I got a little crooked there. I'll fix it. This is a sample for a child with a whole different kind of yarn. So the yarn that Mama and a Stitch is using is UN2 yarn by Lion brand. U spelled HUE. UN2 now, I believe it is, yarn. And she's using the color Ozone. So that's what this is. It's really a pretty color. See that pretty color? It's kind of really plays with your eyes. It's kind of like gray, blue, got a little aqua green in it. It's real pretty. But it's wool. I don't work with wool, so I am working with Karen's Simply Soft, which is a uh, economical. They're economical super saver kind of blend, and this is lavender. And I'm just practicing decreasing her stitch count and making uh, decreasing her cast on and lengths to make child and baby sizes that I will donate. So that's what I'm doing. I have to bust up my yarn stash, and it's time. So I wanted to find a good project that you can mix and match. And I'm thinking for girls, I'm thinking of like Punky Brewster back in the day. You know how her clothes would be all mixed matched, all colorful. And you really can get away with that now with doing like a pocket one color and one side of like maybe the back of a sweater one color and the front's another, or the border another color, or the pocket's a different color, or one sleeve one color, mix colors through it. If you don't have a chunky 5 um, yarn, you can just hold 2 strands of any worsted weight 4 medium yarn, and you will achieve the same thing. You can also take like you can mix colors and make it look flecked. Um, like maybe you have a lot of gray that you need to use up, or a lot of cream color. You can mix those 2 colors together and it would look like a fleck yarn. Um, so the yarn I chose to use is by Premier Yarns, and it is called Serenity. And this is Oatmeal Heather, and it's a chunky 5. And it's acrylic, and it's machine washable and dry, just like the yarn that's suggested in the pattern. And you'll use a US 15 um, US 15 needle with that yarn, and you'll probably need at least a 36 inch, 29 or 36 inch to carry all the stitches, but you'll be knitting flat. So if you're a beginner knitter, it's helpful um, to just have a cable that's longer. But if your cables are all being used up like mine are, because I'm somebody who like loves to knit, but I hate to assemble. So I have like right now 3 sweaters that need to be assembled, and um 2 afghans that need the border put on. And I have some sweaters that are all knitted in one piece, where you shape the shoulders and the yoke, and you uh knit in the round the sleeves. If you know how to knit in the round and you have double pointed needles or circular needles, you can definitely do your sleeves um in the round. But otherwise, it's just really, really simple. You're gonna knit 2 pockets, which are 2 squares, and you're gonna knit 2 uh, sleeves, which because it begins with the cast on and then you're knitting from the bottom up. It begins with the decreases, and you're going wider to the top, and then you're just knitting. You're decreasing around. You're casting on and decreasing, uh, which is kind of strange, but once you see it, you'll. It's really cool the way it works out. And then you just have flat sleeves that you have to just seam up. And one thing this pattern doesn't say, but I will say, you're going to have the wrong side. Right now I'm working on the back of, I'm guessing, maybe a 18 to 2-year-old, 3 toddler size. So this will be the back. And I haven't used these needles since 1987 because I don't work well on aluminum. So this is actually the front, and this is the border on the bottom. As you can see from here, the ribbing. So you'll have 2 panels that are rectangles, and you'll work them until they're to the length that the pattern says. And it's really beautifully written. And then you'll just knit your back panel here, and then you'll knit a front panel left and right. And you're going to turn it over to the wrong side and you're going to whip stitch or mattress stitch your wrong sides together. And then when you turn it, this will be the side you'll see. The stitches and the border. So you can see that. Really nice pockets. I love these pockets. Let me get the cord out of the way again. Not the best setup here, but that's it. It's such a pretty color. I wish I could have found a color like that without being allergic to wool, and also I just don't like working with wool. All right, so you basically, for the back, you're making a little border. You can decide what the amount of stitches your border will be. It's 3. So there's border. You're always going to knit those. And then you're just repeating 2 rows till you get to the desired length. I'm going to make this length here for a child about 13 inches long. And then you're purling across. That's all you're doing. Purling across. Again, I'm using Caron Simply Soft. Caron with a C. That's her economical yarn. And I love the sheen, kind of the mercurization in it and the softness of it. It's kind of like a light to medium for worsted weight. But you get a good 7 ounces for their price. And they have beautiful colors. And it works great for babies and toddlers. I dropped a stitch there. I dropped a stitch. I dropped a stitch. Let me go get it. Oh, buggers. Should have my glasses on. But I don't, do I? No. Because I have a camera on my head. Literally on my head. I'm wearing a hat with a camera clipped onto it. Just hurting my head. Who knows what brain damage is doing. So I can't wear my glasses while I have the hat on, because then I can't see when I look down. Do I have a bobby pin or something around here? Let's see. What do I have that I can... Little clippy. I'm going to search for my drop stitch. Where are you, little bugger? Come to me. Come to me. All the way down here, really? Ew. That's not good. Where'd you fall? Right here. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to do it with this. Come to me, come to me. All right. There you are. Gotcha. It's going to look strange, but that's okay. And that one spot, it's going to look a little strange. All right, so, oh, wait a minute. No wonder I started knitting. I need to be purling. That's why it looks strange. So it's a nice Saturday afternoon, although it's 70 something degrees and 90 something in my house, and I haven't turned on the air conditioner. And my cat is kind of looking at me like, please, mommy, please. What are you doing? I'm trying to conserve energy. It's been so, you've had to run the air conditioner so much. And it's been so muggy lately, and today it's finally kind of a nice day. I'm getting a sense of autumn today. I'm feeling autumnish today. Autumnish. Oh, weird right there. Anyways, you're just going to do 7 rows of ribbing and the cast on that's in her pattern at her website at Moonbow, what is the name of it again? Moonbow Slouchy Knit Cardi, Cardigan, Cardigan, Cardi, Cardigan, not Graham, Cardigan. Good God, my mouth dropped another stitch. No! I'll pick it up on the way back. Totally. All right, I'm ripping out this row when I get to the end. Not even gonna tink back. This looks cray. Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. One of my challenges today is I have not knit with aluminum needles in almost 30 years. I bought these in 1987 when my kids were little and I used to knit. Yup. And I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with that. What is that? What is this? Oh dear God. All right. Um, 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 thinking back. Couple rows. I'm picking up. However did that happen? Cool thing about this pattern, though, if you have to do what I'm doing right here and pick up and start over, is you can just read your work and keep going. All right. So if you want to know for the child's, I'm going to tink back some more because I don't like the way it looks. Now is the dangerous time when I could just keep tinking and going, oh, I don't like the way that row looks either. The whole thing out. No, I'm not doing that. Okay. Yeah, these 4.57 millimeter. They are. Who in God's name even uses these anymore? Yeah, you know what? You had to have like a special kind of shoulder and neck and everything to use these, and just really hold on to your stitches. And Karen Simply Soft is so soft that it's very super slippery. But anyways, with this pattern, you're going to make a back rectangle with a chunky 5 yarn, or you can Navajo knit by looping together any yarn you want, like a DK yarn, and strengthen it, make it thicker. Or you can just hold 2 strands of worsted weight yarn to achieve that chunky 5. So it's a good stash buster. So you make a back triangle, and you begin from the bottom up with ribbing, 7 rows, knit 1, purl 1 by 1 ribbing. And then you knit a row. And then your cast Your cast on stitch count will remain the same, and you just knit flat back and forth, and after you knit that first row, then the next row you're going to knit 3, knit 3, and purl across to the last 3 and knit those 3. And then you flip it around and you knit the next row, and then you flip it and you knit 3 and you purl across and you knit the last 3. That's all you're doing. You're repeating row 1 and 2. And for the ribbing, you're just knitting 1, purling 1, turning, and then knitting what you see. So if you see a purl, a little bump on it, like a wrap around it, the bumpy side, you purl those. If you see the V shape side, when you pull down on it, you're going to knit those. So you just are going to knit what you see for 7 rows. And once you get to row 2 of the ribbing, it's knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Then it is row 2, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. And then you're just repeating that, but you'll see it will turn, it will alternate on its own. That looks like a hot mess over here. Got splitty and weird. Let me count them. So I'll tell you, for my child one, which is not part of her pattern, I cast on 74 stitches with this kind of yarn. With this kind of yarn, you're going to need way less stitches with the needle size you're using. Okay, but it's all in her pattern. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74. So I got extra something going on there, which I'm going to get rid of. I need 74 stitches, so I'm getting rid of that. And I'm doing this. Pick that up. Turn it around. I picked up some splitty stuff, which is what happens with sometimes with stash yarn or with I'd say Karen Simply Soft or any soft yarn. This yarn here, Serenity at Premier Yarn, it was rather expensive. And it's so soft that it is kind of splitty. So I'm just going to knit across here on this side. But I'm going to put 2 together here. I'm going to put this messy stuff together. Get rid of it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 12 I have to remember. So all you're going to do is knit a row and then knit 3 and then purl across for the second row. Keep repeating that until you get to the desired length in Jessica's pattern at Mom and a Stitch. For she has small, medium, large, and extra large. And her cast-ons only increased by 4 stitches, if that helps anyone. and you're just knitting or purling. It's stockinette. So the gauge for her pattern is 9 stitches in stockinette over 12 rows will give you, with a US 15 needle, it will give you 4 by 4 inches or 10 by 10 centimeters. If you're getting too much, you actually want to go up a needle size. And if you're getting too little, you want to go down a needle size. Um, I the biggest needle I have after a 15 is I believe a 17, which I really didn't want to go up to. So we'll see when I get to using my chunky yarn. But for now, the gauge for this one, if you're using Karen Simply Soft or any light medium 4 kind of worsted weight, like maybe Mainstay or Red Heart, Super Saver, you would want 22 rows or 22 stitches over 30 rows is going to give you a 4 by 4 inch or a 10 by 10 centimeters. And I'm using a 4.5 needle, but you'll use whatever you can to get there. So I really just wanted to try out live and see how it works. And I'm 27 minutes, 27 and 20, 27 minutes and 27 seconds in, and nobody's here. So I don't know. Was I supposed to put down tags or anything? I've never done it. So I don't know. Um, so maybe I should have let folks know I was going to do a knit along so you could join me. So if you do wander over to my channel, you'll see that I have many different things going on my channel. Knitting, crocheting, tatting, a little bit of embroidery. Mostly the projects I like to do are yesteryear, kind of old and quaint. The era I go for typically is anywhere from 1940 to 1970s. Retro knits and crochets. I really love doing intricate crochet, doilies, and all kinds of cool patterns. But I've been knitting lately. And soon I'll be making snowflakes. I currently have another Italian Love. It's called Italian Love Amore blanket. It's a simple basket weave, textile basket weave in brown flack going. And I also have in a big needle, and it's got a moss border on it. And I also have a Tree of Life by Nikki Epstein, or Trees Breeze, full length Afghan going. And I also have 3 sweaters going, one with a hood and pockets, and one that is a pullover sweater. And I got most of those patterns at Annie's catalog, Knit and Now Crochet. I love Mama and Stitch. A lot of her sweaters are great. Jessica has one that's called the Sweater Duster that really you could use like a robe. And when I looked at this one, I was looking at the moon the past few nights. It's been so beautiful and bright. I decided to finish up some knitting, and then I thought, why don't I just make that? So I purchased the download and printed it out. And so I can't really give you the pattern, but I can leave the link and tell you where to go. You're going to go to Mama in a Stitch, Moonbow Slouchy Cardigan, not cardigram. And what's really cool is I think she's partnered with Lion Brand for a kit, and it's on a clearance right now. So depending on, like, right now, if you needed 5 skeins of the yarn she was using, you what's the name of that yarn? Let me see something. What is the name of this yarn? So I can get it straight. Lion Brand yarn, You and Me, like HUE, symbol and me, and in the color Ozone, Ozone, 125 grams. So for the small, you need 5 skeins, and it is a cotton and wool blend. And I would have bought the kit. Had it not been wool, I would have bought the kit, because it was $27 for all the yarn and a drawbag string and the needles you need and the cable, blunt eye, uh, not embroidery, tapestry or darning needle for sewing. So again, I'm working on the back, and then when I get done, I will make 2 identical sides, doing the same thing with a different cast on and a different length. And then I'll do the same thing, beginning with knitting 2 together here and there to make smaller sleeves, and then increase, and then knit straight for a little while, and then seam those sleeves together and sew them on. And you're just going to you're going to lay your 2 panels on top of your back, sew them upside on the wrong side with either a whip stitch or a mattress stitch, Kitchener stitch, invisible stitch, any stitch you like. And then you can either knit your sleeves in the round if you know how to do that, or you can just seam them up. And I gotta say, in this pattern, I actually like the seamed flat sleeves because it adds to the texture and the charm of it, of the chunkiness. It's really sweet. If you're looking at what I'm doing right now and you're saying, what the heck kind of stitch is that? I am purling right now, and I'm doing the Mediterranean, European, or continental knitting, where the yarn's in the front and you're using your index finger as your guide, and you're just holding it down and pulling through it like that. Like you're just moving a lot of people can wrap it around their finger or weave it like this. Um, but my finger gets cramped up doing it. My hand gets cramped. So this would be your guide. So you could direct it with knitting. You would go yarn in back, purling, you would go in the front. And if you're purling, you're going to go all the way over to the left of the stitch like this, and just come in like this, let go, and bring it through. Right? If you're knitting, you're just going to hold this in the back, come this way. Oops, did it already. And grab your yarn and pick it up like this. So you're entering the same way, and your yarn is either in the back or the front, right? end stitches are kind of hard to do that way because they're slippery for me. And so I knit American English style where I wrap. It's two separate moves. I don't come off the needle. I come off the needle to wrap. Well, they don't come off the needle, but I make two moves. So I'll tell you what I mean by that. I knit like so. That's American. I'm having to stop and wrap, do this. Eventually, if you're doing this a long time, it hurts your shoulder and your elbow, and you get knitting elbow or whatever, right? And some people like this, but and they don't have a problem. It just depends on how you're sitting, I guess. But if I was knitting continental Mediterranean, I would hold my yarn this way and just keep coming in like this and grabbing my stitch, which I always drop them. I don't knit well continental style. I purl really good continental style. So I switch. I go through and pick it up and bring it through. So it's more of a wrist action. I don't think it's any quicker. Some people call it speed knitting. It is not for me. If I hold it like this. So it's just easier for me to do this. Right? So that's all you're doing. You're knitting a back, a rectangle. And then your last two rows of this, when you get to your desired length of your size, according to her pattern, I'm going to go for 13.5 inches for a child size. You're going to knit the last two rows and bind off in a two-stitch bind off. Lock off your stitches by knitting two and then passing one of the first stitch over the second, and then knitting one and then passing the first stitch over the second. So it's like a PSSO, pass, but only it's not a slip stitch. PSO, pass stitch over. And you lock off your stitches and you set it down. And then you make your next panel. You can actually, if you do have cables, you can start like two sleeves at a time on one cable. If you have a circular needle, you can do both pockets on the same needle. And then, so really it's just assembly with this. That's it. And then if you wanted to make this bottom up in one piece, you would stop when you get almost to your desired length at the back, and you'd start making your sleeve area. And work on that, and then pick up stitches on the side and keep going with your panels. Depends on if you like to pick up stitches, I guess. Sometimes I do. For hoods, I do. I might make a hoodie for this. What really drew me to this is the pockets were so cool too. Slouchy. And the yarn she's using is machine washable. This one, the one I'm using is machine washable and dryer, but I just like to hang things. I don't trust the dryer. So So I just want to tell you about this pattern, and there's a whole bunch more at Mama Stitch, Jessica. And um, they're really economically priced downloads and written well. Nice pictures, nice charts, nice assembly instructions. Some of them come with video tutorials. Oh, I just knit across. Kind of redundant. It's one of those knits you can watch movies all day and take a few stretch breaks, get hydrated, have a cup of tea, whatever, and just keep going. Make all your pieces and then take a day and for some time and just assemble it all. So remember, this is the wrong side and this is the right side. Okay. And then for the sides, or maybe it's the pocket, for one of them, you're going to be knitting 5 stitches instead of 3 on the side. So just pay attention to that and you'll be okay. You have a nice little border starting to work out. You can see it better on this side, I think. Little ribbing. It kind of goes with, I think it goes nicely. That little border works up nice. So you keep that ribbing going. And on this side, you just do knit what you see. See little bumps? You're going to purl it. I use my own sweaters as templates, but when I saw this, I was like, I thought the sleeves had some intricate work going on, but they don't. That's just how they look being seamed up. So I bought it for that purpose. I was like, I wonder what she's doing with the sleeves. Really cool. Like I have a couple of sweaters, I'll take them out of my closet and just count the rows, count the stitches, look at the stitches. I'll get my tape measure out and mix my yarn together and make a few more, especially with pullovers. Okay, that's my video. Nobody came by to say hello because it's my first live, so I guess I gotta let you guys know I'm going live. So if you want to join me for some knit alongs, I will promote them and we can do some knit alongs. I'll let you know what materials you need and I'll teach you some stitches. We'll have fun if that's what you like to do. Okay, take care. Thanks for being here. If you happen to see this on replay, just let me know that you dropped in. Have a nice day. Bye.